Hi, everyone, and welcome to Powered by Readium, a series of posts and videos in which we discuss projects that have been built thanks to Readium technologies. Today is quite a special interview as I am with Robert Cartolano from Columbia University Libraries, as well as the Readium Foundation. So that's going to be a very exciting one. Maybe as a starting point together, Robert, you could tell us a little bit about yourself and about your work at Columbia University.
Oh, thanks. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm so happy to be able to talk about our efforts with Readium Foundation. So I'm Rob Cartolano. I'm Associate Vice President for Technology and Preservation at Columbia University Libraries. I'm a computer scientist in a library world, and I've been working within Columbia University Libraries to improve uh, the use of technology and services to our students and our faculty in the use of our collections and our services. And I'm also a member of the Readium Foundation board. So happy to be here.
Thank you. I'm super happy to be discussing with you as well. Maybe as a starting point, because there's a lot of things that we could be talking about, we could go from the start and focus a little bit about the Palace Project at Columbia. As a first question, I would like to ask you what were the main goals of this project? What problems did it aim to solve? And what open source technologies you leveraged to create a solution?
Okay, great. Well, many years ago, we saw that we needed to improve how we use academic ebooks. So we came up with a project called Transforming the Academic Ebook Reading Experience. And we asked ourselves, can we imagine a better academic ebook and a better experience for our students and for our faculty? So initially, we started working with what was going on inside public libraries. They had an initiative known as Readers First, which really started out saying it should be as easy as find a book, get the book, and read the book. 3 steps to get a book. And an early exemplar of that work was happening at New York Public Library. The New York Public Library received an IMLS-funded grant to build Simply E. And a few years later, Lyrasis took on the effort and started a project called the Palace Project, which builds a friendly mobile app. Both of these technologies are based on Readium technologies, the Readium Reader Platform technologies. So this is why this is so important for us. To use open technologies and open standards, really we're looking at several reasons why we're trying to do this. Number one, we want to provide our students and our faculty with a consistent, easy to use, accessible reader and reading experience for digital ebooks. One way to get the book, one way to log in, one way to find the book, and then read the book itself. Number two, we wanted to connect it to local discovery. We wanted to support discovery through our local library catalog. Direct linking from within the library catalog to read the book. The third thing is we wanted to make it easy to find it, get it, and read it, just like that Readers First, to get it in as few steps as possible, to really make it easy for someone to find and use an ebook, to get it in 3 steps. Once you have the book, we wanted to provide a great reading experience built upon the Readium Foundation technologies, an accessible reader that really supports readability right up there for a user who can then bring that book right down to their mobile app, a phone or a tablet, and then read the book with easy access to the pages, the table of contents, be able to zoom in and zoom out, and if they need support for accessibility, to have that accessibility framework for reading for those who need additional support. And then finally, we wanted to have support for the library itself, making sure that library branding is taken into account, having reporting and administration support. In the end, what we didn't want to have happen was a proliferation of multiple proprietary mobile apps, which we believe would create a fragmented reading experience. So that was really many of the reasons why we chose to select open technologies and Readium-driven technologies, in this case through Lyrasis and the Palace Project.
Amazing. Thank you so much for these insights. That's actually a great transition to the next question and to the next topic in the interview. Because obviously, for years, you've played a very significant role in many organizations worldwide, really, like Lyrasis, Duraspace, of course, the Readium Foundation, as we said before, that promote open source technologies and standards all over the globe. And I think it would be interesting to focus on that and ask you, why do you believe this mission to be especially important in the context that you work in, higher education, and important in general for libraries?
Thanks. That is a great question. We need to support great research at Columbia. We have incredible researchers, incredible faculty, incredible students. In order to do that, we need a great research library. In order to have a great research library, we need to collect materials and make them accessible now and well into the future. It has to be accessible over time. By adopting open standards and interoperable formats and protocols, we believe that's very important to support the underlying metadata and information that's used to describe our collections, and the systems that use it also need to be open and interoperable so that we can support collections over time. It's important to provide access today, but what about access to those materials well into the future? Readium Foundation supports these open standards, things like OPTS, a standard that helps us move information about the books between systems. EPUB, a format that helps describe books regardless of the technology used to read the book. And by using these standards, Readium itself then builds open code and open platforms so that many, many different servers, services, and applications can use Readium technologies. This is super important if we want to provide international sustainability of international publishing and international collecting. This concept of bibliodiversity is really at the underpinning of open interoperable standards for libraries. We at Columbia collect internationally. We have collections from every part of the world. So at Columbia, very selfishly, we want to support an open interoperable set of standards to support this international publishing landscape, and bibliodiversity is super important for us. So this is some of the reasons why I think, if we're going to build collections, we are stewards. We're stewards of these collections, both today and into the future. And stewardship relies on open standards and open information.
Absolutely, and it's an ongoing mission at the Readium Foundation as well to keep spreading that message and to keep spreading the adoption of standards all over the world of libraries.
And the latest effort by Readium to really push forward Readium LCP, which is a way to support digital rights management, but in a way that is interoperable and really provides benefits to both the publishers of the materials, but also the libraries. And in doing so, facilitates readership for the users. So we want to support publishers where they come from, which is they need to provide books in a way that supports their business models. But we want to work in partnership as a library to foster a vibrant, sustainable marketplace for ebooks. And I think this is why Readium LCP, the latest work that the Readium Foundation has pushed, is so important as well. And we're seeing that take up by publishers in using it, which we think is a very healthy development.
Absolutely, yes, we are. Yes, we are. And speaking about spreading the good word, spreading adoption, about a year ago, I think late 2024, at the Coalition for Networked Information, you took the floor to call for library leaders to endorse, as you said, interoperable ebook standards. And I would like to ask you, in your own eyes, in your own words, how should open source and standards impact the world of digital lending in the US and also globally?
Thanks. Thank you so much. Our library leaders across the spectrum are extremely busy trying to support this incredible ecosystem of materials coming in. We talked to a number of them, and we talked to our colleagues at Library Futures, and we determined that it would be very helpful to come up with a statement that might address the main concerns we have about ebooks and how they can support that. So we developed something called the Interoperable Ebook Standards Statement. If you go to Library Futures, you can look that up, Interoperable Ebook Standards Statement, and it states what are the key things that we're asking for. We identified 4 areas that we want our library leaders to endorse, and many library leaders did in fact endorse that and signed on to it. So I went to CNI to really advocate for interoperability. The first thing was ease of discovery. We wanted to support the idea of consistent, open metadata that can be shared across systems and across libraries to facilitate discovery, access, and use. OPDS, again, as I mentioned earlier, is a great standard that allows publishers to syndicate their information in an interoperable way across a variety of systems and help foster delivery of those metadata to the ebook platforms that then users can then use to read those books. The second thing is we wanted to really support the concept of ease of use. It's hard enough to get the metadata to provide discovery and access to it. But once you have it, we wanted to really say that, okay, what about the user experience itself? And we wanted to state that ease of use is critical. So using technologies such as Readium LCP, using EPUB as an open standard for delivering the book to facilitate interoperable, systematic integration of these books into the platforms we have so that we gave the users a better experience. The third thing is, and this really speaks about bibliodiversity, we wanted to make it easier for our libraries to buy these books, to grow the overall library marketplace and provide more sustainability, increase author impact, increase researcher impact, which of course for us is fostering scholarship. We want to amplify the impact of our research and our scholars. So by simplifying the acquisition and use of these ebooks, we think we can grow the overall marketplace and support this bibliodiversity. And then finally, we want to make sure that every reader can read those books. We want to support accessibility. So making sure that wherever a person comes into the reading experience, no matter what capabilities they have, they can find that the reader provides accessible ways to read and use that book through accessibility platforms. Readium, again, is an outstanding example of providing an accessible technology platform for the phones and for the tablets, and now for desktops with the Thorium reader. So accessibility really important. So by bringing together ease of discovery and ease of use, making it easier to buy, and accessibility, we think it can grow the overall marketplace and really help foster a better academic reading experience for all.
A very important side note for our watchers, that statement that Robert was mentioning earlier will be available as a URL in the description of this video, so don't hesitate to check it out.
And sign up.
Actually, sorry, what?
And sign up.
And sign up, especially. Now, next question, that is also my second to last question. It's a little bit more aimed at the future. Obviously, we're at the end of a year that was very busy, but also very successful, and is also now the transition into a new year representing new opportunities for the Readium Foundation, as for yourself. With 2026 now just around the corner, what would you say is coming next on this journey to encourage wider adoption of standards? If you can maybe tell us a little bit about your vision and your goal for next year?
Well, I would say there's two things that are happening simultaneously. Number one, we're working with other academic library partners around the country and around the world to foster adoption of the Readium technologies, and in North America with Lyrasis Palace Project technologies. So we have a group of colleagues across the country that are working to support the Palace Project, trying to bring new academic libraries into the system and encouraging them to adopt Palace and try it out. So many of us at institutions who are running Palace are providing some support for that. Just to say that it's working for us, we want you to give it a try and adopt that. And we're seeing more and more take up among public libraries, and we're seeing more and more interest in academic libraries. So this is really, really terrific. And we see some of that interest also around the world. Certainly the Readium Foundation is seeing more interest and adoption of the Readium platform, thanks to Readium LCP, among other institutions and in fact even countries that are adopting this as a national standard. We think this is terrific. The second area of focus is increasing the number of ebooks that are available for use within these technologies. So we're focusing very specifically with our academic library partners and ebook providers, those vendors who serve the academic marketplace, who, if they adopt these technologies, now can provide a better reading experience through Palace Project and Readium infrastructure like Thorium to all of their readers. And we're seeing a few big vendors who serve North America come on board, and we're very excited to work with them and I don't want to mention them. I think they're doing their own marketing, but we're very excited to see them adopt it, and we think that will add hundreds of thousands of additional ebooks to be available via Readium technologies, Thorium, and Palace Project technologies for mobile, tablet, and desktop apps. So these two things, growing the number of academic libraries who are using the Palace Project and Readium technologies, and also adding hundreds of thousands of ebooks with the adoption of these open standards by ebook providers.
That's really wonderful to hear. It does sound like it's going to be a busy year next year. But to be fair, it's all the better for it. I can also say from my perspective that great things are going to be happening with the Readium Foundation, and I am super excited for it. Um, Now, before we end the interview, I have one last question for you, which I always ask people that I interview. Is there anything that we haven't really had the time to mention during the interview that you think would be very interesting for watchers?
Sure. Well, in addition to my job at Columbia, I'm also a volunteer among public libraries in my own town and my community. And what's really exciting is to see the connection between public libraries and academic libraries. Certainly, early learners might begin to use a public library in North America for accessing books that they might not otherwise have access to. But also, at some point, they get to a point where they go to a college and they might use technologies like Palace. And we're trying to connect them together. So we're seeing some interesting connections between public libraries and academic libraries using some of these same technologies. And I think that's very exciting because the students, they don't really see the difference. So if they learn how to read on a mobile app or a tablet at an early age, and then are able to use that as they progress into high school and then college, we see that as beneficial for the education mission in general. So working to broadening community involvement and community engagement, supporting literacy to the widest possible audience, I think is also something that is another little goal that we have with these technologies. At the end of the day, we're trying to support literacy and provide the best educational experience, not just the best reading experience. So this is pretty exciting to be able to work in areas that benefit our community as well as support our academic mission at Columbia.
Absolutely, and I think that's a really great message to end on as well. I really want to thank you, Robert, for joining me today for this interview. This was a really enriching conversation and great insight into the importance of open source and standards in libraries and in publishing technology in general, but also through the specific lenses of academic libraries. It was truly, truly fascinating. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much as well.
As for you watchers, if you like this interview, don't forget to like our videos and to subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you subscribe, you may also click on the bell icon below to switch on notifications to be reminded every time we post a video. Don't forget to follow our updates and information on LinkedIn, as well as our brand new blog on Ghost, which will be as well integrated into the description below. Subscribe to that. And in the meantime, I will see you in the next interview.